Hello and welcome to the Darren Smith Photography tutorials. This video is all about how filters can enhance your pictures. Filters are specifically designed to absorb and remove selected wavelengths of light. Modern filters are made from plastics such as polycarbonate or polyester resin, or glass filters which are a little bit more expensive. There are two main categories of filter. The first category represents technical filters, which add special effects or modify optical characteristics. The second category represents aesthetic filters and simply changes the visual appeal of an image. Have you ever wondered why the sky looks so blue and the sea so clear in holiday brochures? It's due to the fact that the photographer has used a polarizer when taking these images. A polarizing filter gives the blue sky a rich deep colour and is used to reduce reflections in water or other non-metallic materials. It has a neutral grey appearance that rotates in its mount so it can block polarised light. Because of its colour, it does reduce the amount of light entering your camera by around 2 stops, so it is not a filter you would normally leave on your lens. This filter is one of the only filters that cannot truly be digitally processed using a photo editing package, so it's worthwhile having one in your kit. If you look at these pictures, the first image looks flat and dull, whereas the second image is more vibrant and well defined. To use this filter, you must rotate it around the lens, and rotating the filter is essential to getting the amount of polarization correct. Too much saturation will look unnatural, so it's worth experimenting a little by rotating the glass. Also, the amount of polarization depends upon the position of the sun, and maximum polarization will occur when the camera is at right angles to the sun, i.e. 90 degrees. There are a few problems with using a polarizing filter. For example, on a wide-angle lens, vignetting may and probably will occur unless you are using a much larger polarizer than your lens diameter, which can become very expensive. It is also very important that you put your polarizer on the right way around, because it will not work and make your image look very dull indeed. A diffuser is a filter range that can give a dreamy look to your image and softens the contours of your subject. It is often used in portraiture and occasionally in other genres of photography too. If you look at these two images, the second image looks slightly softer than the first with a more dreamy glow, whilst the shadow areas keep their definition, maintaining the contrast of your image. Traditionally, Skylight and UV filters reduce the haze levels and UV light exposed to your camera. With modern digital sensors, however, there is no practical need for such filters. Some photographers use them to protect the front of their lenses, as these filters are not expensive and easy to replace. We all know that replacing a scratch filter is a lot cheaper than replacing the lens front glass element. A skylight filter is a slight but subtle magenta colour and slightly warms your image, especially during the sunny day. In traditional film photography, certain colours such as blue would dominate, and the use of a skylight filter would tone down the amount of blue light, making a more balanced image. A UV filter also has a subtle magenta colour and blocks the UV light present in sunlight. Traditional film would react to this light and would ruin a good image. An ND filter or neutral density filter shades the amount of light entering the camera, allowing a longer exposure to be made. ND filters are often used in macro work as they allow a wider aperture to be used to get the same exposure, and this will reduce the depth of field and potentially enhance your image. ND filters are also widely used in landscape photography to protect from lens diffraction, which is caused when you use a small aperture on your lens. Adding a neutral density filter allows the aperture to be set more near the lens's optimal settings, which is often around f8, allowing for a longer exposure time. If you look at the two photographs we have here, the second image has a longer exposure time and gives the viewers a sense of motion in the water. We can also use an ND filter in portrait photography, and we can use it to control the light from the flash or speed light, allowing a shallower depth of field, guaranteeing the subject's background remains out of focus where the subject remains completely in focus. Graduated filters or grad filters are a hybrid of the colour compensating and neutral density filter. However, the density gradually increases towards the top of the filter. These are particularly useful in landscape photography when compensating for a dark foreground and the light sky. There are two types of grad filters. The hard-edged grad is a filter that is particularly useful in high-contrast images where the sky is very bright compared to the subjects in the foreground and when the horizon is completely flat. The hard edge must, however, be aligned with the horizon, otherwise a clear line will be present in your image. The other type is called the soft edge grad. This filter does exactly the same thing, however the transition from light to dark is a lot more gradual. A filter like this is useful when photographing a horizon which isn't flat, such as a mountain range or in a forest. Colour compensation filters are used to correct colour imbalance in your picture. Filters of this type come in various densities of red, green, blue, yellow, orange, magenta and cyan. I will talk about the orange and blue filters a little more later in this tutorial. These extreme colours are used primarily in black and white photography to either make regions of colour much darker or really stand out. Colour compensation filters can easily be replicated in even the most basic of photo editing packages and are rarely used nowadays. A warming filter reduces the blue cast in photographs taken in the midday sun by giving the image a golden glow. They are effectively an orange coloured compensation filter. They are also useful in portrait work as they warm the colour of the skin. However, they are easily reproduced using the most basic of photo editing packages, so are rarely used nowadays. A cooling filter does exactly the opposite of a warming filter, emphasising the blue light that is weaker in the morning and evening light. They are effectively a spectrum absorber, removing some of the orange colour from the image. Again, this filter can be easily reproduced using the most basic of photo editing packages, so we don't really use them anymore. We can also use a standard lens as a macro lens, with the use of a close-up or dioptre lens filter. Several of these lenses may be used together to achieve magnifications of approximately life size. Because of the extra glass, light quality is lost, making some cameras struggle to focus, particularly in and around the edges of the image due to the distortion caused by the glass in this filter. It is, however, a cheap, quick and easy way to get into macro photography. Filters can also be used to perform some special effects, as filters can be cut to perform a multitude of tasks without the need of photo editing packages on your computer. Shaping the filter can drastically alter the path of light through to your camera sensor. These special effect filters have been generally replaced due to their niche use and the versatility of editing software. They range from motion blur, star effect and dream effect, to name a few, all of which can be reproduced easily using photo editing packages. The example shown is a 6-sided star effect filter on a bridge in Budapest. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Please feel free to check out more at darrensmith.org.uk or on YouTube, Twitter or Facebook. Thank you for watching.